So, basically, this. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is not Markiplier. That would be crazy. No, my name is Juno. Uh, and I am on the journey of making my own Roblox game. It's been kind of an on and off thing for a few years. These are all, aside from this, these are two, um, like really big projects I started working on a while back and then I gave up. But I've got the bug again. I know absolutely nothing about developing. The most that I've done in Roblox Studio is probably playing around with building things and animation, but I do not know how to code at all. I don't know how to do anything Lua. I need to mute my Discord tabs. So today a lot of it is going to be me showing you kind of some behind the scenes of how the server is getting made and how I'm setting things up. I'm not going to do all of these on screen. I already set up some of the server and I'll kind of go over what went on with that. But this is going to be a Roblox game where real players interact with other real players, multiplayer style. There's going to be trainings, there's going to be a bunch of other stuff, and it's kind of like if you know like Frappe Cafe or Sizzle Burger, there's those kinds of games where people can go through processes to get quote unquote hired to work as workers in restaurants. One of the big things, I have another Discord tab open because I'm in a dev server, and this is kind of where I'm hoping to get some help from people who have more experience than me. Um, yeah, because as you can see, I posted earlier that I needed help with learning how to start coding, and people are um, kind of helping out a little bit. I will be using AI. I know that there's a really big thing about that because I'm not using AI to exactly necessarily create things for me. I'm using it to experiment. I'm using it to learn and document. And my cat, what is he doing? One second. I think my cat's tweaking. I have two cats. Oh, he found a box. You like the box? He's happy. He has a box. Anyway, sidetracked. So basically, a lot of people, I was in a few other servers, but I kind of narrowed it down to this one. They've been a lot more responsive in that server, so, you know. But basically, oh, my eyes. The long-term goal for today is I'm not going to get all of this done, but I will kind of show you what I'm doing. I'll explain a little bit about how I set up the server, what all of this is for, what it all means, all this other stuff. Um, I have a fun little document that you are welcome to copy and paste. It's not like secret information or anything that I will show you. I'm actually going to pull up that Google Doc. Not this. Yeah, that's another project. So this is coloring text in Discord. How to basically in developer mode, which I don't think you have to have developer mode on to do this, but colored text only pops up in PC. So if you do it and you have a mobile person, they're going to see a gray and white version, but the actual pronunciations of how everything looks will still be the same. These are called, my gosh, what are they? Not grave ticks. I know what they're actually called. I just have to think about it. Um, a grave accent. They're called grave accents. I knew it was grave something, but um, so these are called grave accents. I don't know. I actually don't know how to find these on mobile. I've tried for years. I just don't think that you really need them on mobile. So that's probably why not they're not there. But these are grave accents, and then this is the line of like word code. Technically, I don't really know how to describe it, but essentially it tells Discord, "Hey, I want it to look like this." And then there's like properties or rules, I guess, that you have to follow to. Sorry, I have the hiccups a little bit. To make it work like that. So like for this one, it'll make the text like this, like a red color, but you have to capitalize the first letter of every word. Same here. This one, you have to end your text with two colons. This one will just do it. This one will just do it. This one, your text has to be in brackets. This one, you have to start your text with a period. This one, you have to start your text with a hash or not an ampersand, a pound sign. This one, you have to start with a dash, and this one you have to start with a plus sign. Um, so I kind of like using these to decorate. I didn't really, I think I used them a little bit in the rules. So like this one is I think the pastel blue. I think this is the cornflower blue. And essentially what the grave signs does is this is connected to this, and then whatever you put underneath it will come out in what is that font called? Courier New. So this is called Courier New, and then everything else is Arial. It'll come out in this Courier New font. I don't know why you delete that. And then this is kind of just how I set up the rules. So in order to end this coloring, you just end it. You hit enter to the new line, and then you put 3 new grave accents. So that's kind of how that works. The big thing that I think I ran into yesterday was working with Carlbot. You can see that I have Carlbot in the server. This is my alternate account that it's like a trash account that I made to test things in the server when I don't have friends who are online that can do it for me. I do have a friend who I think might be up to kind of helping me when I need it, when he can, but right now, random alt account. You might see me log into this or switch to this account later, just, if I need to do something on Discord, but mostly today is going to be kind of explaining stuff and then going on Roblox Studio and like starting to actually build what the diner is going to look like, which is going to be super fun. I'm not going to like be playing anything or trying to make anything work. We're just building models, um, clipping things together, making sure we post things to become assets so that I don't lose them and I can reuse them over and over and over again. Always really helpful. I do have to learn how to post a model as an asset, and I also need to learn how to bind model parts together, because I can kind of do that, but it's not. I don't really think it's anchoring. It's a whole thing. So this is the rules. Pretty simple. You see these in a lot of servers, whether it be for this kind of just silly little game or if it's just in general. It's basic like human decency stuff. This channel, this is what I call a filler channel. I have it actually decorated so it looks like it's supposed to be something, but this is a bots channel that I just haven't moved to its own tab. I'll probably change this. Oh goodness, sorry. I'll probably change this to be something different later. This is the verification. So this is, so all of, if I go to, so when you enter the server initially, and I'll show you how I set Carlbot up like this, because a lot of people get really confused. So I have a thing here where I used to have it called unverified, but you just don't have a role when you join. So if I didn't have any roles, right, and I joined the server, the only thing I'd be able to see is these 3 channels. I tested on this account, I know that it works. And then when you hit this button, what I've essentially done is, so let me go to just a random server, right? Like this one, okay? And if I go to server settings, I go to roles. I have no idea what I was doing here. Let's say I want to make unassigned the role, right? So I go to Carlbot. You can see I was searching things up yesterday. And then I hit add to Discord. And then I hit authorize. And then I go here and I select a server. I have to find the Magic Morsel server. There it is. Hit continue. Authorize it to do whatever it needs to do. Skip. Don't do this. we're not doing this like this. I tried to learn how to use this user interface. It's really difficult. But Carlbot's in the server now. So we go here. We gotta put Carlbot above any roles that we want Carlbot to have permissions over. These two I'm just leaving there because I don't really care. But like, if we want Carlbot to have permissions over these roles, then we have to make sure that Carlbot is above those roles. Your next step is to make sure, go to your user settings, go to developer, and make sure your developer mode is on. And then you can go to, let's go here, right? So you'll do rr add. Well, first you'll have to make a little thing. So this is how I do it. You can also, if you're not putting, so if I'm not doing like this and then the text colors, if you just space and then type in and then hit enter, it'll do the same thing. And then you'll at the role that you want it to be. So we did what? Awaiting graduation. And then that's it, right? Don't do anything to that. This is what's your base text. So you're going to go to more and you're going to hit copy message ID. You don't want to copy the message, which is this up here, the copy text. Don't do that. You don't want to copy message link. You want to copy message ID. And you'll only see this if you have your developer mode on. It's going to look like this when you hit Control V. It's going to be a string of numbers that are equal to a message, a unique message that you made. You'll hit exclamation point, RR, which is reaction roles, which if you do this through Carlbot, you can make a reaction role for it through your Carlbot, but I feel like it's a lot easier to visually see everything that's happening and what you're doing if you understand how the commands work. You'll hit RR add, and then copy your copy pasted message ID, right? Then, if you don't know how to do emojis on your computer, you put in a colon and then you just hit pink. Like I'm gonna do pink, right? So we'll just do ghost. We'll make it a ghost. Why not? And then the role that you want it to be assigned to. Okay? Enter. So now there's a reaction role for this. Then shoot, I have to remember what I did. I should have left the texts there because it won't delete these. You have to delete these yourself. But it won't undo what you did if you delete them, which is really nice because Carbot like remembers what it is. Because if we go, so that what we just did essentially was if we go to the Carbot website and we open our dashboard. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And we open our dashboard and we go to reaction roles. This will be here now, right? So it did this for us through the server. Now, you can do it like this. You can change it to a verify. That's what you can do, right? So, if you change this to verify, then you can only pick it up, you can't remove it, and it removes the user's reaction from the message. So, we're going to do that, right? We're going to change it to a verify role. If you wanted to do that, not through the Carlbot dashboard, you can go back to making it a normal text. You'll go here and you'll do rr add this with your pink ghost, right? And then you'll just type at waiting graduation. And then there's like, you have to like basically like put it as like a verify. I think it's easier to make the message, make the reaction in 2 seconds. And then make it so that your Carlbot now knows that it's a verify role. So what this is going to do essentially is when somebody clicks this button, it'll react and then take away the reaction. And now they have that role. The only way that the person can get rid of that role is if somebody manually removes it for them, like a moderator or something. So like now you can see I don't have it, but if I react to this, now I have it. The way that you set up what people can and can't see is pretty much as follows. So there's no real way with Carlbot that I found personally to like tie messages together. So you can't do like add this as a reaction, add another reaction, and then there used to be a thing where you could like go into the reaction settings and then delete a reaction and like then tell Carlbot to RR like unique message verify. Like, it was a whole thing. I tried following a tutorial that did that and I just wasn't able to get it to work. So I do it like this. You go to your roles and you'll make it so that awaiting graduation, right? The permissions, they can't view certain, you have to make it so they can't view certain channels and they can't create messages. So you'll go to each individual channel, you'll change it. You only have to do this for one thing. So like people who are everyone cannot view this channel. And you don't really have to do can't send messages because if they can't see it, they can't send messages. But then everyone's going to have this role, right? So if you go to awaiting graduation, you put that they can see the channel, right? And then it continues. So permissions at everyone cannot view channels. And you just have to do this for every, so the way that you can do this is either if if you have like one channel, the way that I recommend doing it is creating a separate category. I'm just gonna call it bleh, right? And you don't have to make it a private category. This is where you're gonna put the channel that the people, when they join, they can see this channel, right? So they can see this channel. And then you just edit the category permissions instead of having to edit every single thing. So then you can just hit view channels off for everyone. And then for the role, they can view the channels that are in there. And that's kind of what I do to make it a little bit easier, right? Because then you don't have to go through and do it to every single individual channel. Unless it's like they have to verify and then they can read the rules or something like that, you know, because sometimes people put those in the same like categories. Discord servers are super easy to make. I'm gonna be so for real. Like this is just the font. You have to copy paste fonts, which is I have like arrows up here because of something that I'm working on in here, which I'll explain in a minute. Kind of like my thought processes and how I'm going about organizing what I need for the game. What I will say is, even though I'm not very big on developing, I know how to create things. I know how to make processes and do what the thing you don't want to do is make a checklist, right? Do things that like the first thing that comes to your mind, like the first thing that came to my mind when I made the server, I was like, okay, well, I don't want a bunch of bots joining the server and spamming things. So the first thing I gotta do is I have to make rules. I have to make a verification system. Boom, did it. It was done. What I do recommend doing is making all of the channels for texts and categories that you're going to need before you set up the verifications so that you can put the settings into those categories and use an alternate account or get a friend to test out the verification system for you. I'm not going to go through and show you that this works. Well, I wonder if I can get it to work. Hold on. Okay, I don't have the role. Server settings, roles. I don't think I can view as at everyone. Yeah, I cannot view as at everyone. But I promise that this works. It's the exact same way that I set up my other server and it works. The setup Solar Diner, it works perfectly. Um, it basically this whole thing, like the category and everything in here will be hidden. The only thing that the people without the reaction role will be able to see is whatever you let them see, whatever you let them interact with. Remember though, when you edit your channels, make sure that the ones that they can see, you turn off send messages. Just a heads up. Because if they're not verified, and you have your verification channel or your rules channel, and the bot comes in that's spamming like a bunch of inappropriate things or like a bunch of links and all this other stuff, and you don't turn the text off, like that's kind of why, because you have to mute the text. We'll get into here now. So, like I said, don't make a list. Like I do not have a Google Doc that says like I need this, 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 this. There are people who do that. If that's how you do that and you can get through your thought processes by making a checklist to make sure you have everything you need, that's perfectly fine. For me, it's kind of just like, I wonder what I think I'll need. I've played these kinds of games before. What do other servers... I thought I heard the front doorbell and I was really confused. What do other servers have that I might need? Because it's not copying to appreciate and understand how other people's systems work, or else we would have to copyright every single line of code. Like, can you imagine if somebody said, hey, I found this easier way to code this thing, I'm sharing it with you, but if you use it, even though I'm openly sharing the information with you and letting you know that I found this easier way to do this that makes like people's lives easier, I'm gonna sue you. Like it's copyright, right? And like, it's just one of those things like it was like when there was the argument with was it Charlie Puth or Ed Sheeran? One of them tried to like one of them had to do this whole thing where they had to explain why we can't copyright like chords of music because they're everywhere. It's just one of those things where like it's okay to use other people's ideas as long as you're not blatantly copying them. Like somebody else has a setup like this for their Roblox restaurant server on Discord. But we don't have the same things. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. Anyway, so this is just basic chats. So this is managers only, as you can see. The reason that you have the customer thing, because this is the default that everyone gets when they verify, customers are in this channel because they can view the chats, but I went into the channel permissions and made it so that customers should not be able to view this channel. Hold on, guys. I didn't fix that. I fixed it. Yeah, I went through and made it so that people who have the customer role, I don't need all of these. I don't know why these are in here. So people, the shift leads, the managers, the HRs can see this channel. The customers and everyone else, because everyone has the customer role and they can't get rid of it, cannot, right? So you can see here who can see the channels. And you have to remember what your default role is after verification because that should be the role that's in here, right? If it doesn't show a role, you need to make it so that your category is filtered. Um, but this is just like basic chats, you know. This is essentially what the general chat is. And then there's this section. I always found it really helpful in other restaurant servers when there would be a section with the menu and any updates for things. Like when there are some restaurant games that had like seasonal things that they would do updates for. It's like how like Roblox games have like Christmas updates and things like that, where they add like limited items and stuff to their game. Basically what this is this is a list of the entirety of what I've come up with for a menu for the diner. Okay, so these are items that I'm going to have to either find preset models of or that I'm going to have to make models for. Um, so we have all day breakfast. I'm not going to like go through and read these. Burgers and sandwiches, salads and soups, other entrees, sides, drinks, and desserts. This, although everyone can see it, is, which I actually should probably fix, because customers shouldn't be able to see this channel. But in training, trainees, HRs, managers, shift leads, servers. Okay, I fixed that. See, I'm finding things along the way. Basically what this is functions that I'm going to have in the game for how the game will register that you're making a specific item. So, this is really helpful, by the way, if you need to see it and it's not in a bunch of code that's already difficult for you to understand, right? So this is, let's pick a random one, omelets, right? If you look at the menu, it says that omelets are in the breakfast all day section. Your choice of Western, veggie, or meat lovers, which is the style of like whatever comes in the omelet. So what I'll have is a UI that pops up in your screen. That'll say, um, what? No, okay. I don't know why I did that. This will not pop up in your UI. This is something that players will have to know, and that's part of the training and stuff like that is like learning how to memorize what to do in the game, and it gives people mental stimulation, it gives people a bunch of other stuff. I'm just going to check this real quick, see if anybody else has said anything. Bro, 92 new messages. I don't even know where my messages. Ah, they're up here. Okay. Yeah, they're basically just telling me to use AI to like help me learn, which is I'll explain. Don't worry, I don't support AI that much. I support AI for certain things, and I'll go through that in a second so that I don't get canceled on my first upload about this game. So this is the process that tells the player the in-game functions that you will have to do to make this omelet, right? So it'll say on the ticket on the thing, right? It'll say like Western omelet, right? So they have to remember that they have to go grab eggs from the fridge, the toppings, right? Which it'll tell you what toppings to grab based on what or they order. So it'll be like omelet Western, and then it'll say with steak, hash browns, ketchup, what whatever I end up deciding to do for that. And then stove, so you have to select omelet, which will only pop up if you add the right toppings on the ticket, right? And it'll only select omelet because that's like that specific order of toppings is how you make the omelet, right? Because the eggs, right? If you look up here, eggs, it's just a selected style on pop up. Then you have to have a plate. You put it on the plate, and you can serve it through the window, right? And that's kind of how it works. Is essentially like potato from dry storage to the slicer to select hash method, the hash version, and then to the stove, and then on a plate. And it's just the process, like an order of operations for how the players that are working there, quote unquote, will make items. And as you can see, I haven't done these ones yet. I'm essentially going through and copying and pasting what the menu items are, and I'm putting them here, and then I'm bolding the text, and then I'm going to set them up similarly to how I've set these ones up. But you have to remember, don't overdo it. Try to reuse functions as much as you can. Also, I don't know why it does this. It says new browse channels for literally all of these. If you just go to your browse channels and you turn on and off following a category, it'll fix that. Next, checkmarks. If you want your server to be community, even if it's by invite only, which is how I have it set up right now because I don't need people joining this when it's not ready. This is the community server option, and then this is the channel that I've set as like the main channel that they see when they first join, and that's essentially what that checkmark is. Another thing that I've found that's kind of important, um, you have to have a list of rules, general rules, right? But you also have to have a list of rules for your trainings. So how trainings work, how the rules are going to go is what this is. Useful info is essentially going to be like maybe default preset greetings they can copy paste if they're on mobile, because I know sometimes it's hard to type out proper grammar greetings on mobile. I know that pain so much. And then uniforms. So eventually when I start making catalog items for Roblox for the server or for the game, which is way in the future, that's like down the line, I will upload the links to purchase those items here. If you pass your training, then it'll be given to you for free. If you don't pass your training, it's 5 Robux each. You know? Q&A. So this is a channel that is open messages. So help desk is set to not be able to send messages, but I've changed it so that this channel you can. It's just a bunch of settings work. This one's open Q&A, so you can ask whatever questions you need to ask. This is commonly asked questions, so this will be a list of things that a lot of people ask, which I won't really be able to fill this channel out fully until I do my I host my first training session. I really get people like actually interested in playing the game, which advertising is going to be really difficult. Google Forms. This is a really good thing that I don't see very often that I found makes great work for helping to establish like what you want to do with your like what you expect of people without having to repeat it to them over and over again. So manager forms is going to be forms that that people can submit if they want to apply to become a manager. Um, so basically you can go to multiple trainings and get ranked. You can go to trainings for advancing to the next level, but once you reach the max level of ranks for like basically what the basics are, then you have to apply for things, and there's special trainings that are held like once a week for that kind of stuff. And you'll be told whether you're accepted or not through either a private message, a DM. There'll be like a checkbox option on the Google form to select how you want to find out that you've been accepted to join the training session. HR forms. This is if you want to become an HR. So after you become a manager, you have to be a manager. This will be in the training rules. This will be in the training rules. After you become a manager, you essentially put in um like you have to be a manager, consistently be on the server at least 2 days a week for I don't know, like an hour, So like 2 hours a week, you have to play and do your job as a manager for up to 3 months. After 3 months, you can apply to be an HR plus, which is a high rank essentially. Um, which basically means that you are as close to admin as I'm gonna let you get. You have the ability to ban people in servers, to kick people. You don't have to call an HR. As a manager, you have to call an HR. Managers are also shift, so you can become a shift lead without having to apply for that. That's just a rank that you can obtain, which is a little bit different, which is why there's not a feedback form or anything for it. Feedback forms. So this will be if we make changes to the game or I release like anything new or people want to see things, they can submit a feedback form. It's completely anonymous. If they want it to be, they don't have to. And yeah, it's a good way to get community feedback. Anonymous complaint forms is what this is. Essentially, if there's something that happens in a server and nobody did anything about it or you don't think anyone saw anything, you can submit a complaint form. These are also great if you find people that are hacking or people that are doing not safe for work things in the server or in the game and you want to report it somehow, you can submit pictures and videos, whatever you have, and submit an anonymous complaint form. And then we can hunt that person down, essentially be like, hey, like the complaint form essentially will be like, what are you complaining about? Short answer. Do you have, and then images or videos or whatever that you have of the issue. And then if you have the person's username who you're complaining about or the usernames of the people you're complaining about, put them in. You don't have to put links, right? Just type their usernames. And then you submit it. And if you want to be contacted back, there'll be an option like type your Discord name here if you want to be talked about in a private channel or talked to in a private channel about the issue, right? Training forms. This is if you want to host a training session. So this is essentially um, a shift lead or a manager or an HR essentially says, hey, I want to host a training session right now. I'm available. Can I host a training session? And I essentially say, and HR or myself essentially says yes or no. Um, and HR, so managers and shift leads can host training sessions and train people, but they cannot do it without an HR or myself attending the training session. So that's why there's training forums to ask if they can host because I want there to be as many training sessions as we are willing to host because people want to play. People want to check out the game, people want to see what it's about. I want them to have that opportunity as much as we can offer it to them. Some people have more free time than others, which is perfectly fine. I'm not saying that to be like, oh, I wish I had more free time, you know? So that's essentially what that is. Training, so this is the announcements channel. So I probably will put this further up here at some point, but I'm not really doing anything with it, which is why it's like, so this is trainings. So um, managers and HRs have abilities to announce in this channel. I have to fix this. If I see this, I wait. No, I think I did fix that. But managers and HRs essentially have the ability to type in this channel, and myself, of course, that, hey, we're hosting a training session. I need to put shift leads in here too. I just haven't gotten to it. I'm not really worried about it. Like I said, it's way or it's way down the list. Um, Updates. So this is a channel that I have access to that people can see, but only I can type in, and it's essentially an updates channel. So I can be like, hey, we just put out this new seasonal food or seasonal drink, or we just dropped new merch, or um, we're shutting down like we're there's gonna be this big update in a few days of the for the environment or something like that. Or game passes. Shutdowns is hey, there's something wrong or there's been a really big influx of people doing this and this and this and there's a problem and we need to solve it, so we're shutting down the service for a while. You know? These are just basic things that I think of when I think of like how I would run an actual place, you know? Verification is essentially like if you got an interview. It's essentially saying, "Hey, your background check is here," right? Are you a real person? Should I give you access to be here, right? Bots and things like that don't really interact with this stuff, which is why it's really good. Lobbies, things like that. It's essentially like being able to chat with your coworkers. There's a lot of like workplaces that have applications that they use, professional applications and messaging systems to allow coworkers to chat with each other, whether it be to share shifts or to do other things, and that's a kind of what this is. There's also usually a channel for managers that are on their own, so that the managers can talk about different things. Um, and then obviously all restaurants have menus, and there is usually something somewhere for chefs and things like that, cooks, chefs, to inform them of how to do things if they forget. Um, this one I forgot to talk about. So, sometimes people don't understand or they overestimate how much ability and power. Oh my god, I need a drink. I'll keep talking though. How much power they have with a role. Um, so one of the things that I really want to hit home on is essentially setting what I would call the boundaries for that's my fridge, sorry chat. What I would call the boundaries for making like for becoming a role. There's a section in the rules that essentially says like if you're caught abusing your authority or your rank, then you'll be warned once and then demoted. And then after demotion, if you go back to being the a shift lead or whatever, and which you wouldn't be demoted to a shift lead, you'd be demoted to whatever the highest like cook level was. If you continue inappropriate behaviors or rude behaviors, then you'll just be banned, right? Like common sense things. This is just to put it into perspective for people what ranks can actually do, what permissions they have, and how they can operate within the space. There's a lot of things like this in different servers, so it's just a really good way to do that. Let's move on, shall we? Roblox Studio. I cannot tell you the last time I opened Roblox Studio. um, how long has this recording been going on? 37 minutes? That's not bad. That's not bad. I thought it'd been longer than that. It's gonna take me a while to upload this on YouTube though. I also still need to record. I need to record I'm debating whether I'm going to play Block Tales, like a playthrough, or whether I'm going to play some Overwatch. I don't do much. A lot of the games that I have that aren't even installed are just things I play with my friends. So I don't really do a lot like by myself. Oh, oh! I don't have an editing software, so that's me, guys. That's my username. And my account's old. Let's do a base plate. What is? Oh, this is just random shit that I've built in the past for my friend when he was planning to make a game. I was like, what are these like collaboration things? So we got a base plate. Oh, my sensitivity! Holy shiza! Okay, we're gonna go in a random corner away from the spawn base. Get away from me. And we're building. So I'm not doing anything crazy, right? Oh my god, guys. It's a part. I don't know how else to say this. Look, you'll learn that I kind of start to lose my mind over the course of this, and I will just start making noises. Plugins. Can I? Can I? Where do my plugins go? There they are. I was like, it used to be over here. Where my shit at? So I have One of the best plugins ever. Building Tools by F3X. I highly recommend this. It's a great tool. This is random stuff. You don't need these. Don't use them. They're okay. Grow grass. I think it's pretty explanatory. Guys, you grow grass. You. This tool is really good if you want to mass place a bunch of greenery. I have zero reason to do that. So we're gonna build the cafe. Well, the diner. It's a diner. So we're gonna look up inspos. I don't need locations for things. I just need like pictures of stuff. I really like the entrance out here. I like this. Actually, no. You wanna know what this reminds me of? There is a Roblox Bloxburg builder. Mm, I think named LC Creations, who made this one really cool liminal space build. The diner that they built in that video might be the exterior inspo that I use because it's just like a good like it's just like a good thing. We could also do retro diners, so hmm. Huh. Huh. I gotta hit the Minecraft villager. I did really like that exterior. Why? Okay. I like this. It kind of looks like it's in a bus. It's kind of cool. I like that. I think we're gonna start by building like the iconic diner cushions, because that's probably gonna be the easiest part. The exterior is gonna take a long time, and there's gonna have to be a lot of detail put into that. So I kind of want to hold off on that. Uh, her. I'm just gonna look up. Oh, there, guys. There's Bloxburg options. Retro diner, they say in pastel pink. I could build it in Bloxburg, high key. Because, okay, great thing about Bloxburg. Pinterest ideas. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, I like how simple yet like effective the statement of the cushions is. All right, we're gonna make these cushions, but I'm gonna do something more like these. You know what I mean? So, okay. It's easier for me to visualize it in Bloxburg though, so we're gonna open image in your tab. Thank you. Goodness gracious. I don't know why it took so long for it to give me that option. Okay, so we'll get the building tools out. I think Studio is tweaking. I don't really need this open. There we go. Okay. So right now it's moving in one. We'll put it to 0.5, I think, maybe 0.25. See how this is. 2 point. Because I still want it to kind of snap into place so that I can make things more evenly, but I also don't want it to like, I want it to be able to be ear, ear, ear. Okay, so I also have to fix this to 0.25, which should, ooh, whoa, whoa, way too much rotation. Okay, maybe 10, if I can type. There we go. That's 0.2. Why is the why is the rotation different than the Mom, why is the rotation different than than the move tool? Okay. And then resize. Okay. How is it doing this? That's already basically 0.25. I'm just gonna fix it. Ear, ear, ear. Okay. So let's make sofa. So essentially what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the base plate for like what I want the length of the sofa to be. So I'm thinking like 2-ish blocks wide, like that-ish, right? So we can cut that down a little on both sides, make it fit into 2 blocks. Okay? And then I'm going to copy this and paste it. Whoa. Nope, that's not how Roblox works. How do you copy? I don't. How do you copy? Control D. Ah, I see. Okay. Thank you, Roblox hotkeys. This one, we are going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm not going to round anything out yet. I think I do have a plugin for. Do I have a plugin for Roundify? I do. Whoa. What is it doing? Oh, nice. Okay, this is actually great. Okay, so do that. Okay, and then if we hit, like, if we go here, I have to remember how to do Roundify. Surface tool, all, smooth. How do I chat? Okay, chat. We're gonna figure this out before I. Okay. I don't add mesh, textures, welding, lighting, decorating, cloning. Oh, okay. That makes. I was like, what is this doing? Okay. This. Roundify doesn't work anymore, chat. Um, let's see. Does this have anything? Can I? Guys, I might have to look up how to make a part rounded. Like how to eat her. You know what I mean? Precisely manipulate an object. Not quite. Not quite Roblox. Not quite. Plugins. Maybe if we go to. Okay, we're gonna close this for a second. I need to full screen this. If I go to. Where is the. No, not that. Toolbox. And I go to Creator Store and I go to Plugins. And I go to Round. And I go to Rounded Corners. Alright. Creates a part with no corners. This item has been added to your inventory. Thank you. Just in case this one doesn't work, look up more. It's Roundius. I originally built this plugin because I was tired of wasting time on manual conversions. Now you don't have to either. That's funny. Okay. Okay. So, we've got 2 new plugins. Um, other add tools. All plugins. Round system. Building tools. Add part. Think light editor. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Waiting 10 seconds. You waiting 10 seconds for chat. Okay, that's weird. Do I have to get rid of this? Create a part with rounded corners. I like this one. This one worked. This one worked. Okay, a part with rounded corners. Just gonna drag a few of those over there. I don't know how many of these we're gonna need to make the couch texture, so I need to get rid of this UI. Okay. I don't know what this is. I'm just making models in here, so I'm not entirely worried about it. Okay, I've solved my problem. You can go away. You get over here. Building tools on. Go to my other tab so I don't have to like look like a mad dog trying to find it. We can get rid of this bottom one. I don't need it, so okay. Oh wait, that's the movement tool. Guys, okay. We got the cushy. Okay. Yeah, look at this. So we got a bottom cushy and then a bigger cushy, right? So bottom cushy is like that big. Okay. And then we can delete these because I can just duplicate. We're gonna rename as booth base. Okay, chat. So far. We're gonna duplicate booth base and we're gonna rename this to bottom booth. Cool. Then we come up here, we do that, make this one a little bit smaller, we resize it, I guess. Maybe we do like 0.005. That's like here. Just so you can see like the indentations, you know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. See, but these are the same size, there's just shadowing on them. So I estupido. Hello? Thank you. Okay. So then we need to make the backboard. So it's essentially okay. Oh, where is it? Collisions. Yeah. Material, girl. Fabric. Uh, Smooth plastic versus plastic. I might have to do fabric just for the like texture. And then color. I want like the iconic like red. Yeah, like that. Okay. And then I just have to make this the same. So fabric and then this shade of red. Maybe I make this one a little darker so you can like see the difference, you know? Or maybe I make this one white. Oh, yeah, because then, oh, okay, cool. I have ideas. So then we're gonna copy this, well, we're gonna duplicate it, basically. We're gonna bring it over here. We're gonna go, they're gonna go, and we're gonna go, and then we're gonna go, and then we're going to make this texture, we're gonna make it smooth plastic. Then we're gonna duplicate this piece again. Duplicate. Shimmy. I resized that the wrong way. Because I meant to use this tool. Right? Okay. Then, we gotta fill in this gap down here. I will do that in a second. I actually think I have. Oh my goodness, my voice. Gap fill. Gap fill doesn't really work unless I'm using it wrong. Hecky. Okay. The way that I think I'm gonna fix this is I'm going to extend the back of this. Oh, that's too much. I'm going to put that. So I'm gonna extend the back of this, and then that'll cover up what's back here, you know? And then I have to extend this. Oh. I have to extend this down into the ear. Ears! Okay. And then I have to put this at a 0.05 so that I can move this off the white a little so that it doesn't do the texture collision as much. There-ish. Yeah! Yeah! Look at it! Look at it! It's so lovely. Okay, now we need like the little white triangle and the other cushions. So we're going to duplicate this again. We're going to shimmy it. I usually have the rotator set pretty low because then I get more even like, you know, everything else. So we gotta do that. And then I think the glass texture though, that looks a lot more boothy, but it also looks too glass. Is the concrete kind of force field? Oh, it's just transparent. I was like, what? That's, well, yeah. Oh god. Um, that's just metal. The sand isn't bad. I think I'll stick with the fabric, unless the ice looks good. We could do plastic. No, I like the difference between the, okay. Fabric. Okay. So that's gonna be like there-ish, right? And then we have to duplicate this, put it on top. But we don't want them like perfectly touching. And then this one has to get extended so that it reaches the rest of the chair. Right? You see the vision? You see the vision? Okay. We have to do this on the bottom now because I don't like that this looks symmetrical. That's a weird thing to say, but I want there to be the separation in the cushions. Yeah, yeah. See, this one's a little bit more flush, and then you can see it. Yes, yes. Okay, cool, 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 cool. And then the little triangle. So, how do I shapes? How do I shapes, guys? Part wedge. This could work. Rotate, well, move wedge, right? Rotate wedge. Wedge go this way. Wedge go this way. Wedge go this way. Wedge isn't quite. I don't know why wedge isn't. Why is wedge not doing what wedge should do? There we go. Wedge. Okay, wedge acquired. Then we just center here. Then we take. What is that doing? Oh, it's doing that. Oh, okay. We fixed that. We fixed that. And then what is. Oh, I can't like extend just the corner. I guess I'm okay with it being smaller actually. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Yay! Chad, we have a chair. I actually would rather have the stripes, so I think I'm gonna. um, the way that we're gonna do the stripes is, like I said, I like the stripes more, like these, right? So I think it has to match the roundedness. So I think we're going to duplicate this one. We're gonna rotate it. Can't usually roll my R's, so that went really well. I'm gonna do that, and then this has to come down like over the top-ish, and then this needs to cut off about there. Then we have to distinguish it from the rest, and I think I'm gonna make it a little smaller, like there-ish. Then we duplicate it, and we shove it over here. Ta-da! Ooh, wow, wow, wow. And I'm gonna make it. I want them to kind of pop out a little bit, but I want them to extend this way into the back of the booth. Yeah, like that. Okay. I'm telling you, this building tool makes life so much easier because I'm so used to how Bloxburg works that like when I found out that this tool existed, I was like, oh my god. Wow. All right, we made the booth, right? So, next step is figuring out how to put all of these parts together. So, I'm gonna do this, and then can I just like anchor this? Or group it? How do I control G? Oh my god, and then wait, can I now? Okay, I'm turning. Oh my gosh! It's the small joys, chat. It's the small joys. We have a booth! Woo! How long is this recording? An hour. Alright. I think booth is where we're gonna close it off today. So I'm gonna put it by the spawn point so we can look at booth. Actually, should we make booth programmable? Should we make it so you can sit? Guys, that'd be so cool. Okay. Rename booth. Okay. Please, I swear, one of the things that I learned making tons of like just practicing making models and shit was like one of the things I learned making models and stuff was like I don't know what that is. Okay, this is what I'm gonna tell you. AI warning. I'm gonna use AI to help me understand how to do this. So, how do I make a script to allow a player to sit on a chair in Roblox Studio? Okay. Part block. So, this is moments where I look at AI and I say, huh? Here's how we're gonna do this. We're gonna open the toolbox. We're gonna look for chair in not plugins, just in assets. We're gonna look for chair. Okay? This is a free chair. Okay? Can you sit in this chair? Okay? There's a seat option. I don't know what this means. So, oh, okay. So, how do I do this? How do I do this? That's the question, alright? Because if we hit play, that used to be over here. I don't know why the God, Roblox Studio looks so different. Who's messaging me? Okay. What? What? Guys, pause. Where is this script coming from? Okay. What? Pause. I have to find out where this is coming from. Spawn location. Okay. Right? Server script storage. Okay. I can delete these. I think. Delete. Delete. Okay, that's where that came from. And then. Okay. Take two of me figuring out what the hell is going on. Oh my gosh. Oh, I forgot. It's all grouped together, but I forgot to anchor it. Oh no. Oh, he's dead. Oh my goodness. Right? So this has a thing where if you walk up to it, you sit in it. Right? I need to figure out how to do that. So, it says that Roblox has like a seat option. So I just have to find it. You know what I mean? Like delete. So I need to like anchor this and get rid of that. Okay, this needs to be anchored. Oh, not what I meant to do. Oh no, please stop. Okay, I just want this. Control G. Right? It's all Oh no, wait, it's not what I meant to do. Put this in the workspace. Delete this. I don't need it. Okay. 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 This is anchored now. So before we do anything with the seating, is this thing chill? This thing is chill. Okay. I forgot to anchor all of the parts together. So it follows, so you don't anchor things, it like follows physics and shit. Okay. What seat? Okay? That's not an option. Where are they seeing this? Script properties? Assets? Toolbox. Seat. Seat part. Okay. Seat part. So if I put one here, then I copy it, put another one over here, put it in the booth, and then that's all grouped together. Anchor all that. Hit play. Oh, that's for like, oh, like so it pans your camera to the location. No, it doesn't. Hang on. I can't tell. Okay, click to anchor is off. I need to, why is click to anchor still on? Just need to select tool. Thank you. Okay. I need to get rid of these. Hold on. Delete. Delete. Add. Oh! Bro. Okay. I need to take this out for a second so that I can move it individually. Oh my god. Okay. Guys, it's a journey. Alright? Life is a highway. I wanna ride it all night long. I hope this get me fucking cancelled. So if we just do that, and then we duplicate it, put another one over here. Like, I mean, oh, you can tell that those are in there though. Hold on. I gotta fix this. Okay. It's harder to tell now. I don't know how to make an object transparent, high key. If I just put them into the chair a little bit more. And then if I put these into the booth. Okay. Moment of truth, chat. Moment of truth. Even if it's backwards. Oh lord. I did not anchor them. Booth. Home. Click object to anchor. Anchor. Turn that off. Select tool. I also believe these are backwards, which is really annoying. I need to fix that. I delete that one. Just duplicate that. Move it over. Okay. Then turn building tools off. Put this into the booth. Go to the booth. Go to the home. Go here. Anchor this all together. for the 30th time. Turn the select tool on. Unselect the booth. Doesn't actually matter. Okay, nothing's falling apart. And you can sit! In both chairs? In both chairs! Okay, guys, we made a booth that you can sit in. Oh my gosh! Look at it. It's so cute. So this is the final product. I'm gonna have to fix this eventually because you can see the seat UI, like the seat block through here. I don't know how to make blocks invisible yet, so that'll be a different episode. But here's one of the first booths. Yay! Just a reminder that I'm building this completely independently. I'm not for hire. I work for free to improve my skills, but I am not working for hire because I'm not a professional. I have no licensing, as you can tell. I'm trying. um, you know. But yeah. Oh my gosh! Yay! My sensitivity is off the walls. I have no idea why. This is a goodbye for now. Then let's get a good thumbnail photo. Yeah. Move my. I wish my mouse would go off the screen. It's fine. Or we can do like like a. There we go. Okay. I need to snipping tool this. Give me a second. You guys don't see this. Okay. That is a. Can I do a /E wave? Do I have chat? I do.